Thank you very much. Good afternoon. First of all, First Vice President Timmermans, my dear friend Franz, Honorable Lamassoure, Robert, and of course Baraki. Thank you for the invitation. First, it's always an inspiration to listen to Franz Timmermans and thinking about, while he was talking about this next generation of Internet. And nothing like going back to the Steve Book's book called The Third Wave to put things in perspective about what can we do, right? Because you look at the first wave was about building the infrastructure, building the Internet, building the pipes and the roads of the Internet. And then we had a second wave, which is basically to build on the Internet, to build the apps, to build the applications that changed our life. But now we are at a very interesting crossroads of a matrix where you are basically going to a wave of the Internet where you mix the digital and the physical, and where you're getting into very regulated sectors like health, energy, food, water, manufacturing, the so-called Industry 4.0. And I think that it was exactly what Franz Timmermans was saying. These will change the way we work. These will change the way we govern. And I think that this will change the way we think for better. But let's start by the way we work. 7 months ago in San Francisco, California, a company called Enlytic put around the table a group of specialists, the best radiologists of the world, all together looking at scans of lung cancer. And at the same time, they put a system of deep learning analyzing those scanners. And you know what? The machine was 50% better than the doctors. And that's okay. That didn't impress me. What impressed me is that the machine had 0% false negatives. Basically, never missed a cancer. And those specialists missed it by 7% of the times. So it means that the health sector is changing in a way that being a doctor is today something very different. And so I called my radiologist, someone that I know very well, and I told him the story. And he said to me, and I said, "Aren't you afraid? You're going to lose your job." And he said, "No, I'm not afraid of that. I think it's actually fantastic. I will have much more time to look in a holistic way to the patient. I will have more time to think about what I do and not do a repetitive task of looking at the scanner." So that's wonderful for my profession. And when you think about it, I think that this new generation of the Internet will get us to a place where we can be more creative, where the doctor can look better at the patient, not just at that scanner, but look at all the body, work of what's going on with you. Are you happy? Are you sad? What's your psychosomatic feeling? And then find the cure. It will get that engineers and architects that today spend so many times looking at the plans, they can be more creative. And eventually we'll get the legislator also to be more creative and innovative, and the entrepreneurs to focus more on the ideas. But second, these will change the way we govern. And that's what the questions that we have to ask. And on that, I think that the biggest help I have so far is exactly from Franz Timmermans here, when we have been thinking about ways how we, in this new Internet, this new generation of Internet, how are we going to legislate in a world that legislation processes take up to 5 years, and technology is changing every year. And so how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that in a different way? And so we started with a very interesting project called the Innovation Deals, where we picked ideas from the Dutch people of putting everyone together, because we think purely that in the future you will not be able to legislate alone. This is not going to be about the politicians. It's going to be about you and about us to legislate for the future. So what do these changes mean for us? If the Internet is part of our lives, we cannot make a passive way. We have to look into the future and think, what are the decisions that we have to take as politicians? And when you look at it and you think about, for instance, artificial intelligence, and you think, what's going to be artificial intelligence in the future? And so we do is these technical reports, but we have to think, what do we want us as politicians? Do we want to make a political choice that artificial intelligence will gonna replace us? Is that what we want? Or do we want the artificial intelligence to improve our intelligence? And I think that we want artificial intelligence to make us better as people, but not to replace us. One thing is for certain, governments need to make the decision very quickly. And if you ask me, I think that decision is simple. I want the internet to help make me smarter, but not to replace me. And if we do these, we can build a better future. It means that less time doing boring, repetitive tasks, and think of how many people are overqualified for their jobs. It means people will be more engaged. People will do things that tick them, that actually make them proud. And second, I think that the internet will give us purpose. The other day, Mark Zuckerberg was talking about at Harvard at the commencement speech. And he was referring to this amazing story when J.F. Kennedy, at the time, visited NASA. And he got in, and there was this man brooming the floor, the janitor, and he asked him, "What are you doing?" And the guy said, "Mr. President, I'm helping put a man on the moon." And that's the kind of purpose I'm referring to, that sense that we are part of something bigger than ourselves, that we have so much access to technology, to digital thinking, but we feel that there's a void, that because we see it as a tool, as a resource, but the internet will completely permeate, will give us in this third wave the opportunity to go much faster. And I think it's up to our generation to use the internet to create purpose. Everyone has to create purpose in their life. Why do we connect millions of people? We want to connect them just not by the Facebook. We want them connected to solve the climate change. We want them connected to cure cancer. We want them connected by sharing information. We can increase productivity and reduce inequality. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are at a crucial moment. The third wave of the internet is where we choose the internet of humans. It's not the world of tomorrow, it's the world of today. It's already on the edge of this new phase of the internet, wherever you are and wherever you're ready or not. Let me finish with the words of Mark Zuckerberg. Every generation has its defining words. More than 300,000 people worked to put a man on the moon, including that janitor. Millions of volunteers immunized children around the world against polio. These projects didn't just provide purpose for the people doing these jobs, they gave the whole country a sense of pride that would do great things. This is the biggest challenge, to find purpose in a world of the internet. So thank you very much.
So if the internet is the solution, what is your problem? Thank you very much.